The good, the bad, and the ugly annuity. What is an annuity? And what is a good annuity? Why do some people call annuities good? Why do some people say they're bad? And why do some say they've had ugly experiences with annuities? Those are the questions that we will be answering on tonight. My name is Richelle Dickerson, and I'm the CEO of Rama Financial Solutions Incorporated here in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia. We are a life insurance and annuities and investment fixed accounts firm. We offer financial solutions to anyone of any age and any economic ability. On tonight, we have come to share with you the power and the downfalls from a scholarly point of view on annuities. We have some guests on here tonight. We've invited a few people into the conversation. This podcast will be streaming live on YouTube next week. All right. The first question we need to ask is, what is an annuity? An annuity is exchanging a lump sum of money for a passive income. That passive income can last for a certain amount of time, or that passive income can last for the rest of your life. Quite simply, an annuity is never running out of money. In other words, instead of taking a lump sum of money and then spending it down to the line of zero, an annuity allows you to stretch that money out and make sure that it lasts for the rest of your life. Some examples of what an annuity are Social Security. Social Security is a form of an annuity. So the government actually takes money from active pay checks, rolls it up into a lump sum, and then divvies it out to senior citizens. Pensions are annuities. If you have a 457 plan, that is a tax-deferred annuity. It is a guaranteed lifetime income that you haven't paid taxes on yet. So that when you take it out during retirement, you'll have to pay state taxes and federal taxes. And if you're younger than 59 and a half years old, you'll also take another 10% early out tax penalty. Profit sharings are also forms of an annuity. So if your company allows you to buy shares and they take the shares of their company and turn it into a retirement income for you, that is an annuity. Now, when I heard the pure definition of an annuity, I said, well, why do people say annuities are bad? I don't really understand what's so bad about having a lifetime income. I thought about my 80-year-old mother. My father died at age 24. He was a DC police officer, and he was shot in front of me and my mother. He had only worked in the DC government for 1 year. About a few months after my father died, my mother started receiving an annuity check. And I'm going to tell you how much it was for $1,200 a month. I was 1.5 years old, and my mother was about 24 years old. Do you know my mother is 80 years old right now, and she still receives that annuity check? So I was thinking, how in the world can you put 1 year's worth of money into something and stretch it out for 55 years? In my opinion, that is the good side of an annuity. Wouldn't you agree with that? All right, so we talked about the pure definition of an annuity. Now, this just happens to be my favorite annuity. This annuity, in my opinion, is the absolute best annuity on planet Earth. I wish I could make Earth echo. Why are you saying that, Richelle? Because you get everything that you would want wrapped inside of this annuity. What makes you say that, Richelle? This annuity is called a fixed indexed annuity. What is a fixed indexed annuity? The word fixed means it has a guaranteed interest rate. In other words, you can't lose a dime. The word index means that you are going to get stock market interest rates. Your money is going to mirror the stock market and not lose a dime. I'm going to say it again. Your money is going to mirror the stock market and not lose a dime. So you get to have your cake and eat it too. But not only that, when I saw this, it sent chills up my spine. Fixed index annuities also have bonus money. Fixed index annuities can only be gotten two ways, either through a life insurance company or an annuity a company that specializes in annuities. And they have the sweetest thing I've ever seen. It brings me so much joy. When you transfer money into it, or either you put in money monthly, every time you put in money, the life insurance company pays you bonus money to boost your retirement. What more? Is it better than matching money? Yes. Matching money matches your money dollar for dollar. I've seen bonuses that match your money dollar for $5, $5, 10% bonus, 20. I've even seen 30% bonus money. I didn't believe it. Somebody called me up and said, XYZ company is doing 30% bonuses. I was like, you lying to me. I don't believe it. How are they doing that? And I dug a little deeper and I found that it is true. And not only is it true, people have been receiving bonus money in annuities for decades. So it's not something new. It's new to me. It might be new to you. And I don't want to step up on a soapbox because I know I'll do it and start preaching. But that is because of financial segregation. Certain people groups and populations have been segregated to not even see that annuities exist or not even understand what they are. So Richelle, so far you've told us, everything you've told us sounds good. When do we get to the bad? We're going to get there, all right? Walk with me. Listen, but before we do that, let's take about 2 minutes and do a little financial education. That way you can walk with me on this journey and you'll understand the language. Financial illiteracy, or not being able to understand the financial terms, is the reason, the biggest cause of poverty. Just like slaves were not allowed to read and couldn't understand writing, the same thing is in the financial industry. You hear words like bull, the bear, a put, a call, indexes, and you hear all these different words. You don't know the definition of these words, so you can't participate in what's happening because you don't understand the definition of the words. So let's just take about 2 minutes and get some pure definitions that you will need to take this journey with me. Are you with me? Dr. Margie, I saw you come on. Welcome, welcome. Type in the chat, ladies, and say I'm with you. Or just drop a yes in the chat if you believe in what I'm saying, that financial literacy is where we got to start. We've got to learn how to read these words. Yes. Let me see if I see some yes. I saw Maya said yes. Anybody else in the room? I know Dr. Margie says yes. I know she's my amen corner there. All right. So listen, the first word I need you to understand is the word fixed. There are 3 ways to get paid interest on your savings accounts. The first way to get paid is a fixed interest rate. That means the company is going to pay you one interest rate. It's never going to be higher than that, and it's never going to be lower than that interest rate. Y'all with me? If you've ever taken out a loan, you understand what I'm saying. It's the same way. A fixed interest rate on a loan is the best type of loan. Actually, it's the cheapest loan, right? But in this case, when it's you getting paid the interest, it can be the worst way. Why? Because if the interest rate is less than 5%, that means your money is not keeping up with the cost of living going up. Example, let's just say you went to the 7-Eleven and bought a Snapple and it cost you $1. Then you went back next August and that same Snapple cost you $1.05. What happened? The cost of living went up by 5%. Let's say you had $10,000 sitting in the bank growing at 1%. What happened to the buying power of your money? Your money depreciated in value that year by 4%. When you were in the 3rd grade, did they show you the number line with a 0 and the negative numbers and the positive numbers? Y'all remember that? Well, if your money is only growing by 1% and the cost of living went up by 5%, your buying power depreciated that year by 4%. Y'all with me? We should have learned this in elementary school. We'd be wealthier if we had. In the industry, we call this flatlining. Boop! Your money is sitting there dying in value. So if your money is sitting in the bank, we recommend you don't keep any more than 1 year's worth of expenses in the bank. In some cases, 6 months worth of expenses is enough. Never keep less than 3 months worth of expenses. Always have 3 months worth of bill money in the bank at all times, okay? All right, the second way you get paid is called a variable interest rate. This means the interest rate is unpredictable. It goes up and down. The worst loan you can get is a variable loan. That means the company is controlling you. The Bible says the debtor is slave to the lender. The debtor is slave to a predator loan. Okay? The debtor is not slave when he can make money on a loan. That's a whole different category. But you are a slave to the debtor if the loan keeps going up and down. For example, I had a car loan with a company called Bridgecrest. Oh, I'm calling them out. I shouldn't even do that on a podcast. But I borrowed money from Bridgecrest. I bought that car in December of 2018. I paid that car note For 5 years, the parts went out of place and still owed $6,000 on a car that died. Why? Because when I called, the company was charging interest daily. They were charging $4.09 a day one day, then $2 the next day. Then the interest rate went all over the place, and they were charging it every single day. I'm gonna tell you one more story. We do debt elimination for mortgages. We show people how to be your own bank, borrow from a life insurance policy, and pay off your mortgage. We did a debt elimination plan for a lady. She had about $80,000 left to pay off her mortgage. When we opened up her loan, we said, I'm just going to make up a name, Miss Mary. How often do they charge you these late fees? Oh, every month. Did you know this is a variable interest rate? This is not 7% per year. This is 7% per month. They're charging you interest every month, Miss Mary, on your loan. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know why I went off on loans, but when you're being paid variable interest on your savings, that means your money is gone into the stock market. So you're buying stocks on the stock market. So when the stock market crashes, there goes your money. You have to put more money in there and try to recover what you lost. If you don't put more money on top of it, you're not coming back. Remember that, okay? It's like the running man. You running in place for a minute, burning out. Then you're hoping that the market comes back up again. If you are not financially savvy, which means you don't know the terms, a put, a call, a common stock, etc. If you don't know that, what a bull is, what a bear is, how to buy the dip. If you don't know those things, you are going to lose your money. And if you don't have a trustworthy broker that you are paying fees to, you're going to lose your money. Okay? We recommend again, you only put your fund money on the stock market. Here is the best type of account. I don't care whether you're a financial wizard or you just know what a savings, you don't even really know what a savings account is. This is the best account. It's called a fixed indexed account. It is a combination of the two. It has a fixed interest rate called a floor. So when you're looking at CNBC News or Yahoo Finance, you'll hear them say, the market has hit the floor, which means the market can't go any lower, right? So the fixed interest rate is called the what? The floor. So your money sits on the floor, but when the market goes up, your money goes up with the market. So a fixed index account is stock market gains and zero losses. So the grid looks like a staircase. All right. So I want to ask a question of these beautiful ladies. I see Christina Hines came on. Hello. I know you. Hi, Christina. I have a question for you, and I want you to answer it quickly. And since it's just a few of us, I'll let you raise your hand and unmute. You have three types of accounts: the fixed account, you have the variable account, and you have the fixed index account. Which one do you believe is best for your retirement money? Specifically, your retirement money, and why? Anybody want to raise their hand? And Maya, you can participate too if you would like. Anybody got their hands up? Dead space. Okay, so I don't know. The ladies might be doing something. Anybody want to answer real quick? There we go. Okay, Dr. Margie, I see you there. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Give me just about 60 to 120 seconds of which one you think is best for your retirement money and why. You're still not unmuted, Dr. Margie. You got it? You hit the unmute button? Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you
Hello?
now. We hear you now.
Okay. Yes, I would say the fixed index.
Mm-hmm. And why?
And that's because even if the market goes down, you don't lose your money because your loss would stop at the floor. It would not go beyond that.
There you go. There you go. Plain and simple. Thank you so much, Dr. Margie. That's right. I mean, who wants to lose their retirement money? Retirement money is supposed to be a fixed income, right? It's supposed to be your financial security. So it would seem that you needed guarantees on it. Pensions used to be guaranteed, right? Now they came up with something called a 401k and took away all the guarantees and made all the employees liable for the losses. Before 401ks, companies had to manage the money and not lose it. So they had to hire a whole board of people and hire a stockbroker firm, a brokerage firm, and no matter what happened, the company had to guarantee people's retirement income when there were pensions. Now they just gave it all up, created something called a 401k, washed their hands of it, and now the employees are responsible for the losses. But pensions are what my dad had. And that's why my mom is 80 years old and still getting paid from her pension. It's not in a 401k where it's going up and down. There was no such thing back then in 1969 that I know of. There wasn't a 401k, but now there are. Okay, so that's a little bit of history behind that. All right, so this is what the grid looks like. The red line is when your money's on the stock market. And this is an actual grid of the S&P 500, which are the top 500 companies of America, and what that actually did over a 20-year span of time. The blue line is somebody who put their money in a fixed account at 4% interest. And the green line is someone who put their money in an FIA or fixed index account. As you can see, the person who put it in at 4%, go ahead and mute yourself and we'll call you back. This person earned $70,000 on their savings at the bank in an IRA at 4%. But they still had to pay taxes. 5% federal, 25% state. So they still took a big tax hit, right? And you can see they got nowhere near people who were in the market or got some kind of stock market gains. This person had their money in the market in a 401k, but they still had to pay taxes, 25 and 5% or more, so 30% in taxes, right? This person put it in a Roth, a fixed indexed Roth IRA. What is a Roth IRA? That means you paid your taxes before you put it in, and you were able to grow your money tax free. So your bonus money, which you'll get from a life insurance company or the right investment company, well, not investment companies, but companies that specialize in annuities will give you bonus money. So imagine getting your bonus money, your matching money, your interest, and then growing it all into a big lump sum and then taking it out tax free. So that is what this person did. And guess what? They ended up way ahead at retirement. All right. All right. So now we're going to talk about the bad annuity. So what is a bad annuity? The bad annuity is the one that has low growth. So if your money is growing at less than a cost of living increase, your money is doing what? Depreciating in value. So the key here is always make sure your money is growing at a minimum of 5% interest. I want to say even your savings account at the bank, you want to search for savings accounts that pay as close to 5% as you can. And I am getting feedback daily from clients about different savings accounts and things that they have that are paying 3. We've even found someone that a bank that pays 4.75% interest on your money market accounts. Go for the money market accounts, not just the regular savings accounts with your savings at the bank. If you have an annuity, it has to pay you 5% interest or more, or it's decreasing in value, right? So that's a big, big, big tip, all right? Low growth means, let's just say you had $100,000 in there, and then you let it sit until 2035. Well, guess what? Your $100,000 is going to have the buying power of $50,000. Let's say you let it sit in there until 2045. $100,000 sitting and it's not growing by 5% or more, you're going to have the buying power of $25,000. And that is below the poverty level. Statistics say that the average person retires with less than $150,000 saved up. And that the reason why is because of inflation, financial illiteracy, not knowing how to work the stock market to your advantage, and taxes, huge tax bills that people didn't understand they had to pay when they retire. They're looking at this big balance. Oh, I've got $1 million set aside in my 401k. I'm good. Then Uncle Sam said, oh, no, you don't. You owe me about $350,000 worth of that million, right? So what you really have is about $700,000. And if you go to a brokerage house, they're going to tell you we have a 4% rule, which means you can't draw more than 4% of that out per year. Think about if you had $1 million, how much is 4%? $40,000 a year. You work 30 years to save $1 million. You take it to Charles Schwab or Edward Jones, and they tell you can't pull more than 4% out, $40,000 a year. So you're back to square one at the poverty level. Guess what? Annuities are the solution to that. There are annuities that have 6% roll-ups, which means you can withdraw 6% of the money for the rest of your life. 7% roll-ups, 8% roll-ups, which means you can draw 8% of the balance of the annuity for the rest of your life. Certain annuities, that's why you have to talk to someone like me who can match you up with the highest roll up. There are even some provisions where if you sit it and forget it and let it cook, you can even get a 10% roll up or more. So it depends on your timeline, when you need to take it, etc. So I recommend, if you want more information, set a phone call with me. Go to RaymaFinancialSolutions.net and book a call. And see, and we'll do what's called a green sheet. Once we get past the initial phone call, we'll do a green sheet. And the green sheet will help both of us know which annuity and which company would be a good match for you. All right? So a bad annuity is an annuity that is giving you a low payout. They're not letting you pull any more than 4%. An ugly annuity is when you lose all your retirement money on the stock market. Can you imagine being 70 years old? You worked all your life to save $250,000. You look up and you gave that money to some joker that put your money on the stock market, and you look up and all you got is $100,000 left. And now at 71, the government's going to force you to start taking that money. And all you have is $100,000 or $50,000 left out of your entire life savings. That is ugly. Having no floor on your retirement money, and that's all you've got, in my opinion, that's a sin. That's ugly. Paying 30 to 50% of it in taxes. That's ugly. Here you are, you saved up a nice little chunk of money, and then you get your check back. You decide to take an annuity, and it's only maybe 4 or 5%. And then you see hundreds of dollars in taxes. So by the time taxes come out, all you got is $800 a month left. That's ugly. Not knowing that it was tax deferred. All this time, you thought that was actually your money, and it's not. It's tax deferred. So as soon as you retire, you're going to have to pay the piper. You wrote that money off knowingly or unknowingly. You've been writing that money off on your taxes for 10, 20, 30 years. Going, ooh, look at my refund check. You've been excited about I give you $1 and you turn around and give it back. You didn't earn anything on that dollar. You've been getting excited about a refund check for 20 years. Now you wish you could get a refund check on that retirement because they took so much money out that you feel like you need to go back and work at Walmart or do something, knit or sell something. It's not fair. That's ugly, right? Fees in your retirement account are ugly. You have your money at the brokerage house, and the brokerage is charging you 2% per year. And the stock market crashed. So you lost $30,000, and that joker still took an extra $5,000 out for fees. So not only did you lose $30,000 on the stock market, you still had to pay that joker $5,000. So you lost $35,000 because whether you win or lose, brokers are going to take their fees. They really don't care, honey. And I'll tell you just an inside secret. Brokers have fat cats on the side who are buying and selling and forcing the market to do certain things. So when the average person is losing, somebody else's pockets are filling up. And the brokerage house are on both sides of the fence. They're called hedge funds. So they've got this hedge fund waiting to buy out companies. Y'all picking me up? This called buy low, sell high. So when you're losing your money, there's some jokers in a hedge fund that's waiting for Amazon to come down to $50 a share so they can buy it up. The Wall Street Wolf is the name of the movie. Trading Places with Eddie Murphy is the name of the movie if you need more information. Okay? That's how the game is played. So, where are you as your average person just trying to secure your retirement? You're between a rock and a hard place. That is my definition of ugly. And I want to say something. God don't like ugly. The Bible says that he that is first shall be last, and he that is last shall be first. The Bible says the unrighteous store up riches so that the righteous will be transferred. It speaks about a great wealth transfer for people who are good. And I pray that you and I, not only are we good in heart, but we're good in stewards, and we're good in understanding, and we're good enough to stand strong and say, no, I'm not going to allow you to steal from me. You're strong enough to curl up your lips and say no. All right? I don't know why I got on a soapbox. Somebody on here is anointed. Pull that out of me. This is one of my clients, a teacher who retired from Norfolk Public School Systems. She said, Richelle, I left my money in the 403B because I didn't know what to do with it. It's been there since I retired. I'm 68. I retired at age 65. I said, you do know the stock market crashed, don't you? This was during the time of the tariffs. I said, well, we need to get that money out of there. Don't leave money at an old employer. They have no obligation to you and really, frankly, don't care. You might as well be flushing your money down the toilet. Move your money into what? A fixed index account that pays bonuses. So here, my client did what I said. She said, Richelle, I trust you, right? So she trusted me with $500,000 worth of her 403B and 457 money. When the money transferred, her and I looked at the portal, and when we looked up, the company paid her a bonus of $50,000. She said, Richelle, I only made $65,000 when I retired. I said, they paid me almost a year's worth of salary. I said, yes, ma'am. Now you have $550,000 to grow. So we don't take broker fees. So that saved her money on paying an extra 2% out of her account. Instead of broker fees, we take referrals, 10 referrals, right? So she didn't have to worry about brokers. We become your brokers for the year. So in March, we called our clients and said, hey, the tariffs have hit, the stock market is down. When it hits this number, it's going to hit the floor. And when something hit the floor, what does it do? If it's a ball and it hits the floor, what does it do? Bounces. That's called buying the dip. So we said, now is the time to buy the dip. That's what a good broker is going to tell a valued client. If you're not a valued client, you're not getting that phone call. You're not getting that text message, or you just turned a deaf ear and you're not listening, right? So we said it's time to buy the dip. But while the tariffs were hitting, we said it was time to move your money to international funds and bonds. So we set our clients in international funds and bonds. So they were paying about 4%. 4 to 6%. While everybody else was losing money, our clients' money was growing at a higher interest rate than a bank account. And then, boom, when the bounce back came, we said it's time to move your money back to the S&P 500 because it's on the incline. I'm sorry, bears pounce down. Bear, okay? So a bear pounces down on you. So that means the market's going down. A bull will hit you with his horns and boop, you go flying up in the air. So a bull market means it's going up. Y'all with me? We could have learned that in the 5th grade, okay? We didn't have to wait till we was 50 years old to find that out. That's easy, right? So we brokered her and said, okay, now let's come back to the USA and grab the growth. Since she's in a fixed index account, her money sat on the floor anyway. Even if she hadn't moved it, she wouldn't have lost a dime. She may have earned just 1% because she didn't listen and do what we say. So she might have just got like 1% or 2% on the floor. But because she listened and did what we say, she got 4 to 6% because we told her where to go and what to do, right? So at the end of the year, that's not even the end of the year. Her year's not up until November. When we look back, she earned, and I got to put my glasses on for this. Let me see. She earned $52,057.43. See me shaking my head? Because that's what her account said. You know what she did? She took me out to lunch. She said, you've earned so much money. I have to do something besides referrals for you, because in Asia, they are gracious. It's a different culture. They believe in giving, right? So, yeah. So at the end of the year, we're predicting that her account's going to be over 600,000. So this is a growth account. Okay. So from the growth account, we're going to transfer her into an annuity. So we put her in a bonus paying growth account for 1 year. The catch is you can't touch your money for 1 year. That's the catch. Then at the end of the year, there's another bonus that's coming, and then we're going to transfer into her annuity. So when she takes her annuity sometime during Thanksgiving, it's going to pay her out a lifetime income of $47,000. Let me put my glasses on. $47,617 per year, guaranteed for the rest of her life. Here's the thing. If you have a 401k or a thrift savings plan, you only have two options. You can either take the lump sum or you can take the 4 to 5% income, because that's all they're going to pay you, about 4 to 5% of your total balance. You don't believe me? Go on your retirement portal and check the math, okay? And do it on a calculator. If you take the income, the lump sum disappears. Well, what happened to my $1 million? It's gone. I guess the government is having fun with your lump sum because you took the income and that's it. If you take the lump sum, you better not touch it, because if you touch it, Uncle Sam's coming for about 40%. And why do I say 40%? Because if you have $1 million saved, more than likely you're at a six-figure income. So you're at a higher tax bracket. So you're not in the 22% tax bracket. You're in the 30% tax bracket, right? So if you're in a higher tax bracket, guess what? You owe more money. What's the trick then? Well, you got to transfer it to a self-directed IRA, but not just any joker, not a fixed IRA, not a variable IRA. You want a fixed indexed IRA. Boy, I gave y'all some. Go in the bank and see if you can get one. Walk in the bank and say, I want a fixed index annuity. They're going to laugh you out of it. They're going to say, we got an index annuity. And they'll try to trick you into that. Or we'll put some money in bonds. That's not a floor, honey. Bonds lose money, okay? It's an index annuity. You're buying stocks, and they're going to make you sign this little waiver saying if we lose your money, you're not going to sue us, right? Christina wrote something. What'd you write? I hope there's a recording. Yes, there is a recording connected to this. Yes. And I dropped the YouTube link. So go on YouTube. It's going to be up in 3 to 5 days as we edit it. Okay. So you'll check it. And it'll be up on, and it'll be under the Be Your Own Bank podcast series. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that feedback. Okay. So my client went from a growth account, okay, with bonuses into an annuity. So the wise person says you don't want to run out of money. You don't want to put your money in a brokerage account and then just start piecemealing it until it goes down to the line of zero. A wise person says be your own bank. That means use the life insurance company's money after your money runs out. That's what my mom has been doing. My dad might have put $100,000 in there, and my mother's been getting $1,000 a month for 55 years. Whatever life insurance company is backing that annuity has been paying her long after my dad's money ran out. Okay, and my mom said, I'm going to be living till I'm 100. I said, you going to wear them out, honey. Okay, that's what she said. So you need an annuity to make sure that you stretch that money out. If you believe you're going to live a long time, then you need to make sure that money stays as long as you do. So I have a real estate client who did the same thing. He sold 2 elementary schools, and he's a real estate investor, so he had plenty of money. He said, what I'm going to do, I don't want to put $1.3 million in the bank. And the most them jokers can pay me is 4% because they got premium accounts. And it was, okay, you got $1 million. We got this premium accounts paying 4%. He said, I'm not going to get 4% on $1.3 million. What am I going to do it? And I showed him this strategy. I said, listen, if you roll it over into this account, the company's going to pay you a $136,000 bonus. Oh, well, dag. Uh, it takes me it takes me about 6 months to earn that as a real estate investor. I said, if you're lucky. Okay. But you're going to get paid right away. So one thing about people who have money, there's a money consciousness. They can see the money quicker, right? And I said, when do you need to take the money? He said, oh, me and my wife, we're going to jump in an RV and we're going to ride all around. And then at age 65, we're going to buy land on a golf course in this place and we're going to settle down. He said, so we don't need the money till we're 65. I said, good. Let it sit there and let it cook. Then your roll up goes up. So you're going to get that $136,363 bonus. You're going to keep it in the bonus account, in the growth account, and get all your end of the year bonuses. And when you're 65, you're going to take out a guaranteed lifetime income of $171,941.22. Is that enough for you to live a comfortable lifestyle? He said, yes, ma'am. Wisdom says, make your money work for you. You stop working and let your money grow money babies. Wisdom says financial freedom is when you have enough passive income to pay for your lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is $200,000 a year and you can go where you want and do what you want, your financial freedom number is a passive $200,000 a year. Financial independence is when your passive income is enough to pay your basic expenses: food, clothing, shelter, and transportation, and personal care. If that number is $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month, whatever that number is, that passive income is your financial independence number. Freedom is being able to go where you want and do what you want and not having to go back to work. You're out of the rat race. Independence is having enough money to pay your basic expenses and not having to go back to work. Yep. And guess what? What they didn't tell us in school is the only way to do that with money is an annuity. You can buy real estate, but you're going to have to worry about what the real estate market does. You're going to have to worry about fixing toilets and managing properties. And are people doing what they say? You can do it through dividends, which means you can buy shares in a company and the company will pay you a dividend check. But when that company's stock goes down, so goes your dividend. A dividend is a variable account, right? Because a company, even no matter how strong it is, it's not going to pay you the same dividend every single year. So putting your money in one lump sum place and have a contractual guarantee by a $60 billion life insurance company or whatever it is, or financial institute that's strong and backs what they say, that is the only way that I can see that will secure your income and relieve all the stress. So what's the next steps, Richelle? I'm going to skip over this. It says, what do you need to be financially independent? Everybody thinks that a lot of people think $1 million is a lot of money, but it's not. Okay. If you have $1 million in an annuity, your guarantee roll up at 8%, that would pay you $80,000 a year for the rest of your life. Now that's going to last until you're 80 years old. If you're 50 years old and you think you're going to live another 30 years, that $80,000 a year is going to be like living on $40,000 a year. Imagine what it would feel like to live on $40,000 a year and you have an $80,000, $100,000, or $100,000 a year lifestyle. I'm going to tell you, with this big old house I'm sitting in and my mama to take care of and my son to take care of, there's no way I could survive on $40,000 a year. So I need you to rethink what you think $1 million is. I need you to rethink that, okay? $1 million is not a lot of money when you're talking about the cost of living going up and when you're looking at it in terms of time. Time, 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 time. Now, you can be foolish rich and you get $1 million and you just keep spending it like an NFL player. Oh, like Shaq said, oh, when I got my first check from Reebok, I bought 4 cars. He bought Ferrari, Porsche. And then he looked up and he went to the bank and the bank said, Shaq, you broke. He said, no, I'm not Shaq. You don't have no more money. He said, well, what happened to the money? Shaq, you spent the money. Okay. Okay. You don't believe me? Go on YouTube and look up Shaq's story. Okay. And then he said, I asked an 8-year-old dude that was rich and he didn't have, what did he do? He said, Shaq, put your money in an annuity. Okay. And that's what Shaq did. Okay. So Shaq's worth about $3 billion and a large portion of his assets in an annuity. So he's got passive income. Whop, whop, whop. He started doing it when he first came in the NFL. He was in his 20s. Now Shaq's in almost 60, like 50, and he's got annuity money. Whoop, whoop. He said, that was the best thing I could have ever done. It's allowing him the freedom to do what he wants to do. Okay, he put those annuities on the floor. So listen to me. What is the next step for you? Okay, well, you should look into a FIA, fixed index annuity. You should also look into a fixed index universal life insurance policy. Okay, if you want it all to be tax free, then there's only one life insurance policy that actually has an annuity built inside, which actually it can turn into a passive tax-free income. Whole life doesn't do it. Whole life will pay you dividends, or whole life you can be your own bank, which means you can withdraw. You can withdraw or take loans, but to set it and forget it, and it pays you a guaranteed lifetime income. Only Index Universal Life has a guaranteed lifetime income rider attached that will allow you to turn your death benefit and your wait a minute. You can turn your death benefit and your cash value into an income for life inside of an Index Universal Life insurance policy. But you have to be in decent health, okay? You can't have cancer 2 years ago, or you had a stroke 5 years ago, because they're not going to take you, quite frankly, okay? But if you don't have any critical or chronic illnesses in the past 10 years and you're in decent health, apply for an Index Universal Life and turn a portion of the death benefit along with your cash value into a tax-free income. My mom got an IUL at age 75. Okay. She took a medical exam. She passed it. She started putting $150 a month into it. Now I've taken over and I'm overfunding her policy at $256 a month. So she's got plenty of cash. She's got $600 a month worth of long-term care, because the life insurance turns into long-term care. So my mama is doing good. It's not a matter of age. Well, they stop at age 80. So if you're over age 80, you can't do an IUL, okay? But if you're willing to take a medical exam and you're in good health, yes, you can get an IUL, okay? So it might be an IUL because you don't have enough money to get money into your retirement plan. So you're going to have to get enough death benefit, pay into it for about 5 years, and then start decreasing the death benefit to a certain amount. We'll level a death benefit off to wherever you want it to stop decreasing at a certain time, and then your death benefit and your cash value will become a tax-free income. Guess what, honey? You can't do that with whole life. You can only do it with universal life. Universal means flexible life insurance, flexible adjustable premium, flexible adjustable life insurance. Whole life is fixed. Remember, you got fixed, so you can't adjust that death benefit on a whole life, okay? So it's impossible to do it. Now, I do like whole life. I have a whole life policy too. I use that to pay off my debts, okay? So you should have both if you can have both, but if you're talking retirement specifically, it's the IUL, my dears, okay? So What should you do? And what product would be good for you? And what company? And what bonuses do I qualify for? And how much per month? All that's going to be answered on a green sheet appointment with me. The first time we talk is going to be by phone. You and I chat by phone for 10, 15 minutes. You give me an idea of what you want to do. Then you and I will make a decision to do a 30-minute green sheet appointment from there. Okay. Now, if you sat down with a financial planner and did goal setting, they would charge you $5,000 for that session, for that. Okay. And they would be your financial planner. Challenge me on that. Go see if you can get a coach to do your financial plan for a year. Then you're going to see it's about $5,000 or more. Okay. Avoid paying taxes on your retirement income. We have law firms that we're associated with that structure trust accounts, where some of you can roll your money into a trust, make it irrevocable, and eliminate or minimize your taxes. That's wealth management. That's wealth management consultant. Normally that doesn't start until you have $2 million or more in assets, right? But here we are working with you, and you might just have, I don't know, 50, 100,000. I don't know what you have. But at that level, we'll give you wealth management consultant, which means if you need a lawyer and to get into a trust that you can afford, we'll walk you hand by hand through that process. That's worth at least $20,000. Okay. That's how much somebody would charge you for the year to do that. How to turn a life insurance policy into a tax-free income. Guess what? We have to take commission cuts every time we do this. We have to take 30%. Sometimes we've even had to take 50% commission cuts because we have to reduce the death benefit. And the death benefit is the commissions. That's what an agent gets paid commissions on. So anytime they reduce that death benefit down, they're reducing their commissions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in exchange for taking chicken off my son's plate, I'm asking for referrals so I can keep putting the chicken on my mama's plate. Okay. So yes, we will take the commission cuts all along. We even take the commission cuts, we take the fees. Brokers charge a 1 to 2% fee on your broker account. So you saw my client there that had that broker, she had growth and bonus and all that. There's no broker fees on that. You understand? So we take referrals instead of the broker fees so that you can put that money back into your retirement and grow it. That's worth $10,000 to $150,000 because broker fees, well, if you add them up, they end up charging you $150,000 or more because they put them on your account for the life of the account. Direct phone access to me. Look, I had clients texting me at like 8 o'clock. I'm like, look, stop texting. Right? But it's nice to have somebody you can walk up to, call up and text and ask questions. Somebody you can trust that's always there for you. All right. A personal, that's your person. That's worth at least $20,000. Okay. So I'm worth at least $55,000 to you. And what is my fee? 10 referrals. They have to be good referrals. They can't be broke. They can't be broke. Because they can't do anything if they don't have any money. You understand what I'm saying? Well, my cousin Susu, she got 3 children. Does she have a job? No. I can't work with cousin Susu. You understand what I'm saying? So they need to be people who have some retirement income. And then then you need to text them my card. I'm not calling them. You better believe that. You text them my business card, and that opens the door. That's all you have to do. They don't, yes, no, whatever they say, it doesn't matter. Just make an introduction, and then that's a real referral. It's called referral. That means you referred me. You talked to them first, right? They're due on the second appointment. So we'll do the green sheet with you, and then we'll decide, okay, how much can you put in? This is da-da-da-da. All right, when I come back, I'm going to show you the money. But on our second appointment, that's when you have to have your referrals. When I show you the money, before I show you the money, you have to make sure you pay me my referrals, okay? That's due on the second appointment. Cool beans? That's the way we roll. All right. So, ladies, I chatted my head off. And let me look in the chat to see. Now, we got 3 minutes in the hot seat for those of you who want to ask questions or give feedback. But let me look in the chat. Maya says, I agree. Dr. Margie to Christina. Okay, so my Maya dropped my link in the chat. So you can click on my link and book a call. So it is RaymaFinancialSolutions.net. You can click there and go over there and book a call with me. Okay? Christina, I see you came back. I'm glad to see you came back. All right. And Christina just popped out. No, Christina is an agent with another firm. And Christina, I'm glad that I see you left and came back. Well, you're determined, man. And yes, Christina, we will be uploading this on YouTube. So you can get it on YouTube, Dr. Margie. Okay. Well, ladies, I want to speak, if you allow me to. I'd like to just speak this blessing over your life. The Bible says, Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in good health as your soul grows. So there's a connection of good thinking, speaking kindly, being gentle with yourself, being gentle and kind and forgiving to others as your soul grows. Integrity, honesty, right? Catching bad words that come out of your mouth, snatching them up and casting down every imagination that rises up against the truth, and learning about finances, doing your due diligence so that you're not just putting your money willy-nilly in a place and then you look up and it's like a bucket with holes in it, right? So, beloved, which is my most loving child, that which is created in my image, I pray or I wish above everything else for your prosperity, and that is finances and spiritual and physical and social, your relationships, your family, that you would be in good health, exercise, eating right, and staying away from negative influence as your soul grows. All right? Love and blessings, ladies. Our next podcast will be next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock. We'll do this podcast again. Every time it's a little bit different because there's different people, so there's different feedback. And then for the month of September, we'll be doing a brand new subject. But we're here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Stay connected. Please tell your friends. If you go on social media, I'm not asking you for money, but I'm asking you for this one thing. Like the video, comment on the video, and share the video. Tell the algorithm that this is important and that other people should hear it. If you're not writing referrals down for me, you can at least hit the like button. That's a way of giving a referral. Okay? Love and blessings, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. For more information about how to maximize your retirement account, scan this QR code and reach out to us at RaymaFinancialSolutions.net.